If we can be here, but you're on top though. I'm not gonna go there. Even his. Wait, no, I have the why are we not like this? Because. Oh. Yeah, very good. It's time. I think we all look very tired today. It's just make a long progress. I'm suffering for once.
Hey folks, good evening to you. As you're us live right now on your newsnetworkzima.com. My name is Simba Chikanza here, coming to you live. And here we go. It's a very good evening to you on your Nepe Neuro, your news network. I've got some exclusive details to share with the people of our country, our viewers and listeners in and around Zimbabwe. Two topics I just want to quickly touch on. Number one, what happened inside State House. I'm going to be sharing with you here what happened inside State House. I happen to be privileged. I mean, I am grateful to destiny that I'm one of those people who have had the privilege to dial in, not once, but multiple times, to dial into State House and be given exclusive time. Okay, this has really been a momentous, shall I say, grace that's been granted to me to have that type of access when I'm so critical of Emerson Mnangagwa's regime, and yeah, have been labeled names, and then yeah, at the same time, have had some of the most over the years, I continue to enjoy some of the weirdest access to information, to news. Most of the time, so many times, is totally and completely exclusive. So I'm sharing this with you, of yours, Unicef, if you type in right now. Those who've been calling us, calling, Simba Chikanza, tell us what is happening between ED and Mnangagwa. What is happening? Come here. This is the only time. Don't phone me, because if you phone me, then I won't have time to. Yeah, so I'll quickly touch on that. Then we'll go on a quick topic here that also is related. Okay, so come in, Mapindare. Are you all in? Share with someone. Mm. Okay, we've got 400 people now on the stream. Shall I start now? So last week on Wednesday, before the Politburo meeting, Constantino Chiwenga drove to Emerson Mnangagwa's official and business residence, that is State House, to confront Emerson Mnangagwa. Few people might have read this story. This story was written by me, not by any other journalist. It was written by me with with my own hand, and I am the one who did the actual physical everything, making it what it is, making that story what it is. And I am relating to you what I have with my own hands. I didn't get this second or third hand, and I'm not going to declare my sources, but people know my sources. People know who I've over the years have shown to be communicating with. I've seen me on video talking to Auxilia Mnangagwa. You have seen me on video also confronting Mnangagwa physically, not on video. Okay, you have, right. You have seen me over the years, and so I'm not going to declare names, okay, at all, because this is quite a deep one, deep exclusive. So this is what happened, and you know the type of setup of the communist, or the setup that we have between Mnangagwa and Chiwenga. It's not easy to get news there. If those in ZANU PF, they say akumiwi hakumiwi iko koko saka ukaona news iko kuyeka sikakuti aiwa urumuri pamusoro pegomo chaipo chaipo. So I'm really privileged. But so quickly, so that is what happened. The story that has been circulating lately that Mnangagwa was confronted in the Politburo is the second stage. The first stage, the real McCoy, the real meat is what happened inside State House. And that's what we're going to be giving you, Zimbabweans. And if you have read the article, please give us your feedback. Give me your feedback here. What you think happened in there, what you think will happen after this, because it was very clear. The allegation that was raised by Frederick Shava that Chiwenga should not have raised. It's not Frederick Shower. It's not just Frederick Shower. It's also Frederick Shower and and, uh, and Themba Mliswa. That Constantino Chiwenga should have not have raised this matter relating to Tagwire, the Ziganandas, the gluttons, and that they should be arrested. So what has been said there is that Chiwenga should not have raised that matter inside the Politburo, should have raised it elsewhere inside the Presidium. But that assertion is what I reveal in my article today, my exclusive article, that Chiwenga actually did this in the Presidium. These people are arguably mocking Constantino Chiwenga because that is exactly what he did. He went privately, went on his own to State House to confront privately and respectfully Mnangagwa. And so when he did that, Mnangagwa rushed, sped out of the office. Let me tell you something. So for those who don't know, I know Mnangagwa personally. I know Auxilia Mnangagwa. I think people have seen my videos. Right. There's no one as timid. There's no one as fearful as Mnangagwa. I've never seen anyone as afraid as Mnangagwa. I know people say it's cruel, but kana pene munhu anonzi gwara munhu wekuti anotiza. Saka akatiza Mnangagwa fled that meeting with Chiwenga and just went out unceremoniously into his motorcade and just drove off straight to the ZANU-PF building. And so that is how Chiwenga late had ended up having to leave State House alone and go to the Politburo meeting and repeat the same message, demanding that Tagwire Chivayo must be arrested. And so, as long as you need to get this, a lot of people are not getting the real message, the real news around this is not that Chiwenga disrespected Mnangagwa. Chiwenga did not disrespect Mnangagwa. Amen. Look, I'm going to be joined here quickly by one or two professionals. Oh my God. Where's she gone? Where's she gone? Where's she gone? Where's she gone? Oh, okay. She's coming. Okay. Right. So, I'm going to be joined here by one or two professionals in the human rights arena who are going to help me to understand here. I want to know how did Chiwenga disrespect? How did Chiwenga disrespect Mnangagwa? I don't get it. When people say Chiwenga disrespected Mnangagwa, I don't get it. I got disrespect Mnangagwa, papi. Because what I actually see, maybe perhaps he did. Maybe perhaps he did. But hear me, the facts are Chiwenga went to State House alone. Murgunzi, this is Zimbabweans. Are you listening to me? Hmm? 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 I said Chiwenga went to State House alone on the morning and confronted Mnangagwa in the office alone. Maybe that was disrespect. I don't get it. Maybe it was disrespect. Talk to me. I need people here to type in the comment box there. Uh, Maybe it was disrespect. But Chiwenga went alone to State House alone. And what he did when he asked Mnangagwa about the dossier, that is when Mnangagwa fled that office and, without notice, went into his motorcade and just left, just like that, without notifying him, without notifying his deputy that he had left State House, and went all the way to the ZANU-PF building, to the Politburo meeting. Chiwenga, it looks like, from what I see, from the facts that I have in my hands, Chiwenga was not Chiwenga was not intending to raise this matter in the Politburo. No. How? I don't see it. Where? How would he? Aizoreza papi pa Politburo, pa poras. Aizoreza papi. Because if Mnangagwa had accepted to arrest Teguirei and Chivayo, these two people, mainly, was Chivayo and Teguirei, Delish Nguaya and Scott Sakupanya, but mainly Chivayo and Teguirei. If Mnangagwa had agreed to do that, then the matter would not have been raised at the Politburo. So how did Chiwenga disrespect Mnangagwa? No way. Show me how. No, folks, I'm asking you out there, how do you suppose Chiwenga disrespected Mnangagwa? I don't get it. So I'm just saying, Zimbabwe's nation around the world, these are the facts that I have. And I've not seen anyone bringing me credible. I mean, I've looked at what Temba Mliso has written. I've even looked at even those in the opposites, Jealous Mori and the like. I don't even see Jealous Mori bringing this factor up. Because this is the real most important aspect of Chiwenga's conduct. It is that he did not seem to intend to bring this matter in the Politburo. No, he intended to just deal with it privately with Mnangagwa inside State House. So when people are tweeting this and that and saying, "Oh, Chiwenga, this," maybe there's something else that he has done, but I've not seen it. In fact, what we see on video over the years is Chiwenga standing up many times to cover up for Mnangagwa and say Mnangagwa is not going to be removed. Am I wrong? Even in March, when Blessed Geza started his protest, I didn't see Chiwenga. I didn't see Chiwenga supporting Geza. Chiwenga was actually supporting Mnangagwa. Maybe that is disrespect. But how? Talk to me, Zimbabweans. So I'm just going to be joined shortly. Hold on. Right, my guest is boarding a plane, so just hold on, folks. Hold on, 2 seconds. I'm just going to play this Temba Mliswa clip, and I'll come back shortly. Where is it? Where's the Temba Mliswa clip? I can't see it anymore. Oh dear, just hold on, folks.
This is Zemi Media, broadcasting all round the world, on the spot, on the dot. This is Zemi Media, broadcasting all round the world, on the spot, on the dot. This is Zemi Media, broadcasting all round the world, on the spot, on the dot. This is Zemi Media, broadcasting all round the world, on the spot, on the dot. This is
Okay, so anziko imi itaiwo mapachi enyu kana zirinyore. Okay. Right. So folks, what I've just been saying here, I don't see how Chiwenga disrespected Mnangagwa. Maybe there is something that he did, but I don't see it. Maybe there is. Please talk to me. Now quickly, There's another story here that I'll just quickly touch on as I'm waiting for my guest, and that is relating to a an accusation against Nelson Chamisa by the leader of a concept called Government in Exile, an organization, a diaspora organization called Government in Exile. The controversial journalist called Hopewell Chingono. Shall I maybe call him a daddyist called Hopewell Chingono, who announces in a tweet today that Nelson Chamisa is a false prophet. And then he pops out a posting, a scripture that Chamisa posted in 2013 when he said that change is on the corner, change is about to happen. And so that posting, it suggests that Chamisa is a false prophet. Now, folks, who is Oppo Chingono? Oppo Chingono is a journalist turned politician, leader of a political organization that he calls Government in Exile. He's also someone who has been making false claims that some people call fraudulent claims that the British Embassy did a police clearance on his multiple names and on money that he illegally moved from the UK to Zimbabwe to purchase his first home from a non-existent lender, British lender. And he has also been spent the last 14 years claiming that the British Embassy conducted a police clearance on his multiple names. Opo Chingon is the only journalist in the world that I know. And if you check in the databases, you can use digital tools, you notice that there's no journalist in the world who has got three names, who has changed his name three times. And he's such a person who has been falsely claiming that the British Embassy conducted a police clearance on his multiple names. We've checked with the British Embassy. There's nothing like that. We've also checked that he was never done a police clearance on the money that he illegally moved from the UK to Zimbabwe to buy his first home. And we've also checked that there is no embassy that has got such capacity to conduct police clearances. And so such a person to pop out and say that Chamisa is a false prophet when he himself is a false human being, a false claimant, a false identity. Ah, come on. Kana paine munhu anofanira kusvipirwa kandi Hopewell. Kana paine munhu anofanira kuvharirwa. Kutovharirwa chaiko chaiko ndiHopewell Chingono. Inini simba racho chikanza ndakamumirira kuno kuBritain. Mukangonzwa kuti apinda chete pama UK airports, please ndiudzei. Because I have got a very strong case accountability. Yemukomana uyu arifanira kunoaccounta for my identities ake nezvinhu zvaanga achita izvozvo. Zimbabweans don't be I know a lot of women and a lot of people because of economic issues. When people look at Hopewell Chingono, they think that he's a very successful person. Right. Success is not defined in money. Success is not defined in awards. Success is not defined in a tag, a badge, as a journalist. No. There are doctors who have, hear me. There's a doctor in the UK right now who, an award-winning doctor, medical doctor, who was convicted for stealing credit cards from patients and from a colleague, credit cards, debit cards, and stealing the money, using money from a patient's debit card while that patient is in surgery. Just this year, a doctor, medical doctor in the United Kingdom. So, being a doctor, being a journalist, being an award-winning doctor is not success. Success is in character. Success is in humanity. Success is in service. A lot of people don't get it. It's in how you serve other people, how you lift other people, not promote yourself. That is real success. Someone is saying Hopewell is jealous. He's jealous, Jetere. There's something deeper that you can't see. That is Hopewell. Hopewell is a dark human being. Can't you see? Unomona se munhu akachena munhu akadaro. Wakamboona kupi munhu are so busy every time. Every time. Munhu iye just wants to tear down, to destroy, and to force munhu anonyepa zvokuti anokunyepera. Ukaona munhu anokunyepera wakatarisa so. Achibuda achitiza achitoenda anonyepa kuti British Embassy yakamukliya mazita ake nemari dzaakatora ku-UK dzaakamuvha from UK achinyepa so achivavhara. Even iyo vachona ku-British Embassy vachona vachitadza kumusungisa. Ukaona munhu akadaro ndio ungati jealous. Akuona kuti munhu yaatori pa-animal levels. Ndati nini? If you see a human being who is so determined that they can lie, that they can falsify and get away with it and make people stupid. Can't you see such a person with a capacity to deceive multitudes, millions of people? Can't you see that such a person is not a normal person? Hopewell is not a normal human being. Kana mukaso just. I see a lot of people saying, hey, Oppo, hey, iwe, zikama iwe. Chichi nombo chamisira iwe, nokunza award winning doctor. Muno mu UK, akasungwa msunoi. Aba ma credit cards. Google anya chona, award winning medical doctor. Top surgeon in the UK. Store credit cards from a patient while the patient was in surgery. Used the credit, the cards to buy things for yourself. Saka kuita award winning, kuita professional, ndosangana na Obama, ndosangana na Ningi, ndosangana na Trump. As this is success. Success is in character. Don't success, not in boasts. Success is in humanity. Success is in truth. When you know someone who tells the truth and sticks by it, and someone who doesn't look for vain glory. Hakuna munhu anozviti daddy. Anopusisa vanhu kuti vamuti daddy. Munhu iye ari honest. Ndiratidze one. Enda unocheka ma-case law, ema-prosecution, evanhu vakaita multiple manipulation yekurepa vana vadiki, yekurepa vakadzi, yekupusisa vakadzi vevanhu. Ona matitle avo vanhu ivavo kuti vanonzi anani, vanozviti anani. Ndopo uchanzwisisa kuti chinhu chinonzi daddy chinobva nekupi. Uyu akasungwa uyu, akapusisa vanhu vakawanda kuAmerica, anga achinzvanza kuti zipuff daddy. Uyu achangobva kunopinda mujeri so. Ndikadza kudzidzisa maZimbabweans because imi munongomhanyira. Mukangoona chinhu chakango award takuzobudirira. Ona chakadai. Wakutofunga kuti munhu yakachena. Just because munhu ane ma-awards. Ndopa munorasika ipa maZimbabweans. This is where you destroy yourselves. That's why I was saying there, zvapfana izvi zvana ostalos zvinenge zvichingopamba zvichipembedza mpavha. This tells you how dark, how evil they are, all of them. Hakuna a professional anofamba nemunhu anonzi Hopewell Rugo Chingono anywhere. Hakuna munhu anofamba netsotsi yasiri tsotsi. Ndikuda kukudzai maZimbabweans because munongopembedza just because someone talks articulately. Makungofunga kuti munhu yakachena. That should tell you when you see a person walking with a thief. That should tell you that person is also part of it. Hakuna munhu anofamba, munhu anopromota Hopewell Chingono akachena. Show me one. Show me one person. Vana Ibo Mandaza, look at them. Zvimarimari zvaakatora izvi makore zvima-NGO zvese. Akasvika one time akanyimwa futi akanyimwa Schengen visa. Ibo Mandaza. Busy talking about himself. I know Mbeki. Ndakazodai. Ukangoteerera Ibo Mandaza uya. Anoita senga ari kutaura sense, but he's just self-promoting himself. Ndidzo mbavha dzinofamba nedzimwe mbavha. Hakuna munhu anofamba naHopewell chingono akachena. Ndiratidze one. Show me one. You cannot play with someone anonyepa like that. Anonyepera ma-British institutions. Which is that you are a professional. You have to be a tsotsi to be working with a tsotsi. Hakuna. Show me one. Unless kana wakatongopusa zvako zvokuti unopusiswa nemunhu anozviti dhadhi. Unopusiswa nemunhu anozviti dhadhi. Anokuita kuti iwe mukadzi wako akuti atoti dhadhi, munhu anotoenda pakadzi wako anotoenda painternet. Kana uine vana vasikana anotoenda painternet choti dhadhi. Kune mumwe murume. Munhu anonyepa. Munhu ane 3 ID. Akachinja mazita anonyepa kuti British Embassy yakandiclear. Yakaita police clearance. Mari yaakatenga iyo imba yake yekuCCPT yainyepa kuti hey imari yecabs ndakaiwana because economy yanga iri right. Akazobvuma ega kuti imari yekuBritain. Akanyora ega asingatandaniswa naanyone. Muchingotevera mbavha. Award winning. Muchipusiswa, muchisvibisa dzimba dzenyu, muchiunza madhimoni mumba dzenyu. Hanzi nemumwe panapa hanzi konya yes hope munhu waMunangagwa uyu. Chigananda chaMunangagwa ichi. Chakanyepera vanhu patime yageza yageza pazvakatanga paya. Chakati hanzi kune masoja abapfuti. Chikabva chanyepa kuti hanzi kune maproperties abhombwa. Chichida kusungisa vanhu, chakasungisa vanhu 94 vakapinda mujeri. Chinhu chaMunangagwa ichi chamunenge muchingoti dhadhi. Chidhimoni chaMunangagwa ichi. Muchingoti dhadhi. Kwamboona kupi iwewe? Ndiratidze one mujournalist anywhere in the world anozviti dhadhi. Anyway. Hamusikuona kuti muri kupusiswa. Chikunyepera kuti ndiri kucriticize. Ukaona munhu achipembedzwa naChris Mutsvango achita senga ari kuitwa critic. Chris Mutsvango ari kukandirai munhu wake. Kuitira kuti mufunga kuti munhu uyu ari against Munangagwa. Hamuna kuona kuti paakamhanya yakona zita rake rataurwa akutoita riti kutofara kuti ndazonzi ndakutonzi ndiri opposition. Akabva atofara because yanga itori achievement kaiyoyo. Yanga itori achievement iyoyo yekutonzi ndanzina Chris Mutsvango inini ndiri opposition. Muri kupusiswa nedhimoni rinonzi dhadhi. Hamusi kuzviona. Chidhoma, chidhadhi chana Mutsvango ichichi chamunenge muchikandirwa. Chinyoka chavana Mutsvango kuitira kuti mimi mupuse mugare muchifunga kuti muri kupuwa journalism. Muchipusiswa. Muchiita drink from madhimoni. Upusiso. Matendera musoro muchifunga kuti muri kupuwa news. Hamuna kuona kuti moto wageza wakadzimurwa nani? Hamuna kuzoona here paya kuti musi wa28 akakanda a tweet 28 March geza demo rakaranga riri musi wa31 uye musi wa28 akutaura kuti kune masoja 5 kuManicaland vabapfuti kune maproperty aWicknell uchivhayo abhombwa kukurasisai. After that akabva anyepa kuti Chris Mutsvango aenda kuDubai. Mese mukabva mafara Chris Mutsvango ndiye akutobviswa. Hamusi kuona kuti munhu chidhoma chaChris Mutsvango chinonzi chamunenge muchingoti chidhadhi ichochi. Muri kupinza madhimoni mumba dzenyu. Tienda painternet dhadhi. Hamusi kuzoona kuti muri maZimbabwenzika. Just 2 seconds.
The night was electric on the 6th of July, 2025. Vice President Chiwenga's chief campaigner, Blessed Geza, played out video footage denouncing Kuda Tagwire under the theme Pasi Nesvigananda, a defiant anthem. But behind the music was a trap. 3 days before, on the 3rd of July, inside ZANU-PF headquarters, Chiwenga had risen. demanding the ejection of Kudakwashe Tagwire from a Central Committee meeting. It was bold, it was loud. The Blessed Geyser session on the 6th of July 2025. Unbeknownst to him, the meeting was a decoy. Tagwire's name was never on the agenda. And the real power, it sat quietly, with the 10 provincial chairpersons loyal to Emerson Mnangagwa. Chiwenga had walked into a fake coup, Acholocho 2.0, and he sang or sloganeered himself to sleep, believing he has discouraged the party from co-opting Tagwire on the basis of a slogan. Was he strategic, and will he get something better than this furious talk and ejection of Tagwire by Secretary for Administration Obert Mpofu? A power in ZANU-PF lies with the 10 chairpersons, all of whom are loyal to ED. By extension, they have no choice but to be loyal to Kuda. By correspondent. Zimbabwe's Vice President, Constantino Chiwenga, is at the center of fresh allegations of attempting to politically undermine his superior President Emerson Mnangagwa in a botched internal ZANU-PF maneuver that has drawn comparisons to the infamous 2004 Cholocho coup plot. Speaking during a live discussion on ZimEye, former ZANU-PF Mashonaland West chairperson Themba Maliswa exposed what he described as a panic move by Chiwenga inside the ruling party's headquarters on the 3rd of July 2025, triggered by agitation over controversial businessman Kudakwashe Tagwire's possible promotion into the party's central committee. According to Maliswa, the entire episode was not just an expression of dissent, but a miscalculated attempt to shift power balances, using Tagwire as a pawn in what could be likened to the ill-fated Cholocho Declaration coup attempt, which saw ambitious ZANU-PF officials trying to sideline the then-President Robert Mugabe in 2004. Kuda was used as a pawn to shake Chiwenga up, suggested Maliswa. He was misled. Inside the 3rd of July drama, Maliswa claims that Chiwenga, caught in an agitation trap, openly called for Tagwire's ejection from ZANU-PF structures on Obert Mpofu's prompting during a high-stakes session. It was a move not supported by the party's constitutional procedures, particularly the Central Committee, which is responsible for such decisions. Kuda's issue was never tabled at the Central Committee. It was a setup, Maliswa explained. Chiwenga panicked, and instead of gaining ground, he only ended up making Kuda more popular. Despite accusations against Tagwire, which include the alleged embezzlement of public funds, the businessman has remained visibly aligned with Mnangagwa and ZANU-PF. Kuda is loyal to the president, he added, and power in ZANU-PF lies with the 10 chairpersons, all of whom are loyal to ED. By extension, they have no choice but to be loyal to Kuda. The military miscalculation. Maliswa further alleged that Chiwenga misread the internal power dynamics, wrongly assuming that military loyalty could be leveraged to influence civilian party structures. According to him, Chiwenga's failure to navigate the party's internal machinery now puts him at a political disadvantage, with even former allies turning cold amid the fallout. A pattern of outsider promotions. Tagwire's possible elevation into the Central Committee follows a pattern that has seen technocrats and business allies of the ruling elite, including Professor Jonathan Moyo in the early 2000s and Finance Minister Mthuli Ancube more recently, being co-opted into ZANU-PF's highest decision-making bodies without long-standing party credentials. Critics within ZANU-PF argue this dilutes the liberation ethos of the party, while saying Chiwenga was not tricked into any agitation whatsoever. Others say it reflects the pragmatic fusion of business and politics necessary for modern governance. One critic, Gifford Gomwe, tells ZimEye, Chiwenga has not at all danced to the agitation of Mnangagwa. But what he has done is, Chiwenga has showed Mnangagwa that what you are doing is very wrong. The correct way is there are rules and regulations that we must follow as the party, ZANU-PF, when it comes to co-options or how we adopt someone into a central committee position. Okay, if I have to give Chiwenga marks, I would say Chiwenga is 10 out of 10. But to all this, Miliswa contends, saying, if the president has power to appoint 5 non-politician technocrats, why can the Central Committee fail to waver for Tagwire? Recently, ZANU-PF's controversial political commissar, Munyaradzi Machacha, has also told Zimaye that Tagwire has contributed immensely to the party. The bottom line. If true, these latest developments signal not just deep fractures within ZANU-PF, but also the end of the once unshakable political partnership between Chiwenga and Mnangagwa, forged during the 2017 military-assisted transition that toppled Robert Mugabe. Miliswa's claims, which connect with other statements by ZANU-PF political commissar Munyaradzi Machacha and Goodwill's Massimirembwa, could redefine the trajectory of Zimbabwe's power politics ahead of the party's next elected Congress, and may have long-lasting implications for both the military's role in governance and the influence of economic elites like Tagwire within the ruling establishment. VP Constantino Chiwenga was reached for comment.
Right, so quickly, obviously, ministers, that was a July update. That was in July. That was back in July when this update was done. And this was the, shall we say, the crescendo, how the development has been accelerating up to last week, Wednesday, when, as I reveal in my exclusive article, that Constantino Chiwenga drove to State House and confronted Mnangagwa personally, privately, and arguably respectfully. Contrary to the allegation that Chiwenga is dealing with Mnangagwa in the Politburo, in actual fact, Constantino Chiwenga has done it privately. This is the extremely important component that the community of analysts and journalists have up to today failed to understand and highlight. This intricate detail describing the relationship between these two. Is Chiwenga disrespectful of Mnangagwa? Was he disrespectful? Did he just blow out in the Politburo to embarrass Mnangagwa? I reveal in my exclusive article that Chiwenga actually physically traveled to State House, and he had a conversation that was direct and personal and was arguably respectful, because it wasn't calling for Mnangagwa stepping down. It was simply asking him to arrest these individuals. And one of the things that I will just quickly state here, Chiwenga said to Mnangagwa, Wikno Chivayo and Tagwire, at the least, are taking money that is state money, that is party money. Started with Tagwire and said, look, Tagwire is taking over 3.5 billion every 6 months from the national coffers. Every year, Tagwire is taking 7 billion. Wikno Chivayo is taking several millions. And when Wikno Chivayo gives you, President, 50 million, excuse me, when he gives you 10 million, he would have taken 50 million. When he gives you a cars for that he has bought for 1 million, he would have pocketed countless other millions. And so Chiwenga was saying that this is not anymore a country. This is now different. You've got to arrest these individuals. You've got to arrest particularly Tagwire. And Mnangagwa, when he heard this, he tried to argue. But as I stated before, I have personally conversed with Mnangagwa,
I've personally conversed with his wife, Auxilia Mnangagwa. People have seen my videos. I've never seen anyone in the country who is as timid, who is so fearful, and so withdrawn as Mnangagwa when he is confronted. Zimbabweans will be acquainted with my videos with Auxilia Mnangagwa when she kept on repeating, Usandituke, you keep cursing me. Why? Usandituke, and that is the character of both these people when they're confronted. When I did this, there was one time in Glasgow. When I did this, when I confronted Mnangagwa hid in his hotel room. And one time he went and he phoned Shepherd Youth asking for permission to come and drink beer with his supporters. Now that's how timid he is. And so people can imagine the type of movement that Mnangagwa made when he was confronted by Chiwenga. And then got into his convoy, went to the Politburo. Chiwenga later on followed afterwards, went to the Politburo. That's when Chiwenga repeated this issue now that he had started at State House. I don't think, and it doesn't seem that Chiwenga intended to run this matter inside the Politburo with junior members of the Politburo. No. What he wanted, it seems, was just ask Mnangagwa to just deal with this privately. And that did not happen. And so Chiwenga then took it into the Politburo. And when that happened, Love Matuke is the one who, the state security minister, came up to defend Mnangagwa. And at that time, Mnangagwa had offered to resign. Threatened to resign. And Chiwenga said, you can't resign. If you resign, you will leave us this mess. How can you resign and leave us in this mess? And then it is Frederick Shava who then appeared to be appeasing both and said, look, you're both my presidents. You are president, you are deputy. Please take this matter back up to the presidium. But that's where Chiwenga was coming from. Chiwenga was coming from the presidium. That is where he had come from. But the reason why Obet Mpofu has been removed is that Obet Mpofu did not speak out for Mnangagwa. That is the punishment. Because Mnangagwa was expecting him to defend Mnangagwa, to defend him. But that did not happen. So this is what has happened, folks. This is what has happened now. That is why Obet Mpofu, the Secretary for the Administration or the Secretary General, has since been removed from that post. Right. So quickly, of your goodnesses, people might have seen Christopher Mchangwa repeatedly mentioning Hopewell, Chingono. You're all listening to Hopewell Chingono. Zimbabweans should not forget who Hopewell Chingono is, what he has done in this year alone to the civil society. He is the one who doused the Blessed Gesa fires when he published false claims that properties had been bombed, properties of the Uganandans had been bombed, when he falsely claimed that their soldiers who had stolen firearms. And when he falsely claimed that Christopher Mchangwa, the same person there, who I can tell you is his boss, had fled to Dubai. So these two, as I analyze, they're just kicking the ball to each other. Vari kukavirana bhora ava wobva wakuti imimi mutambewo navo kuitira kuti mutambe imomwe vari vese vauraye nyaya iyi, vauraye this outcry. Hopewell Chingono has done this once again on Nelson Chamisa. And a lot of Zimbabweans who follow and who think that Hopewell Chingono is feeding them journalism. What he's feeding you is what he has already told the Zimbabweans. It is daddyism. Hopewell Chingono has anointed himself the daddy figure for the people. So muroyi munhu anonzi Hopewell Chingono kana munhu anozviti dhadhi muroyi. Ende ndina muti Hopewell amusiwa kuti muri kutaura nemuroyi here. This person is feeding you daddyism. If you check in criminal law cases, you notice that daddy characters, who are they? Daddy characters are known for some of the most darkest acts: rape, money laundering, thefts, deception of a high order. People who call themselves daddy. So Zimbabweans, when you hear Hopewell telling you that he's feeding you journalism, no, delete. He's feeding you daddyism. If your wife follows Hopewell Chingono, your wife is not following someone who is a journalist. No, they're following a daddyist. Get this right. They're following someone who is dark as a daddyist. It's the same thing that an award-winning medical doctor in the UK a few days ago was convicted of stealing credit cards from a patient during surgery. What was that medical doctor practicing? Was that medical doctor practicing medicine? No, they're practicing something else. They're practicing theft. They are a thief. You don't call such a person a medical doctor. A medical doctor who steals credit cards from a patient during surgery. An award-winning medical doctor, Google it, in the UK was convicted of stealing credit cards of patients and colleagues during surgery. That medical doctor is not practicing medicine. They're practicing fraud in the surgery. You don't call such a person a medical doctor, you call them a thief. This is where you don't get it. Sanangura manzwisisa here. Natinini, a medical doctor anopractice some deceptions, hands medical doctor. Munhu anoba ma credit card mu surgery, hands medical doctor. Anonzi mbavha. Ndipingo medical mbavha. Okay? Ndo zvaari. Imwe kuti munhu anozviti daddy, munhu akatokudza kuti ndi daddy, and you allow your wife to call another man daddy. A character who appears on the internet showing off whiskey and expensive cars and boasting of speaking with presidents like a single man. And you allow your wife, you allow your daughter to watch on their cell phone a person who calls themselves a daddy, who's this single man drinking expensive wine and whiskey, boasting that they've got access to presidents, boasting that he's driving a Maserati, driving expensive cars, owning properties. That person is a daddyist. So who is this person? This person has been bewitching Zimbabweans. He has been anointing, he has been controlling the minds of Zimbabweans, using journalism as a cover to control the minds of the people and make people foolish. Make people believe that he is an answer to anything. Make people believe that he is an accessory of information. When in actual fact, what he's doing is misleading people. Beginning with his own identity. This man has got 3 identities. Can't you see it? And I was explaining it there. Listen to me, Zimbabweans. My background is insurance, risk management. When I do this, some people have called me, oh, Chanda Gwinyira. Those are nditorizvozvizvi. Inini ndinodetector. Munhu ari a deceiver, ndinogara, ndinomushanda. Kana usingazvinzwisisi iwewe, uchifamba nemunhu anonzi Hopewell Chingono, you are either a thief and uchabatwa. I don't care kuti unonzi ani, unozviti ani. Ma medical doctor vachangobva kunoconvictwa apa. Uchabatwa chete. Ndikutokuudza. And I'm making it very clear. Kwauri. Munhu uyu anonzi Hopewell Chingono uyu. Harisi zita rake iri. nokuti Hopewell ching'ono iri ane mazita akawandisisa, ane maID, and hakuna mujournalist ane 3 maidentity cards asi ndiye ega anawo. At least atori akapaikirwa painternet apa 3, and hakuna mujournalist anonyepa kuti British Embassy yakamuclear, yakaita police clearance on my identity yake, something that no British Embassy anywhere, not even the British government itself can do, not even Whitehall can do a police clearance. And yet this man has used his daddyism to make people believe that he was police cleared. And you folks, you believe him, and you allow your kids and your wives to follow a daddy character. Yeah, muchachema one day. Pauchaona mukadzi wako iwo azorwa zvinhu, ndo pauchachema ipapo. Pauchaona mwana wako azorwa zvinhu pamakumbo ake. Ona mwana wako achiyerera nezvinhu pakati pemakumbo ake, ndo pauchadzidza ipapo. Because hamudi kakuteerera ka. But nechipublisha zvese izvi mune pfungwa kuti tiri kutamba. Enda painternet apa ungonocheka kuti macases groomers, case laws evanhu vanonzi madhadhi, ingonocheka kuti case laws of groomers and pedophiles who were called daddy. Enda unocheka one kuti vangani vanga vachinzi vaizviti madhadhi vakaconvictwa. Asi hamudi kuzviteerera ka, because munoda kudzwa kuti tagwire munangagwaza, munoda kudzwa zvinhu zvana weakness, muchinyeperwa futi zvinhu zvana weakness nana mutsvango wachona. This year alone, Hopewell Ching'ono has misled Zimbabweans about Mutsvangwa. He appears as if he's criticizing Mutsvangwa, when in his actual fact he is promoting Mutsvangwa. When he lied to Zimbabweans that they are soldiers who follow Blessed Geza, who have bombed, who have stolen guns, and properties have been bombed. When he lied that Christopher Mutsvangwa has fled to Dubai, what do you think he was doing? He was promoting Chris Mutsvangwa. Later on, Chris Mutsvangwa comes with a trolley and he's boasting, I'm here with my grandchildren shopping. What do you think what that was? That was drama. You were played, your minds were played on by a daddy character. Emuroi, who is a daddy character. Someone who is practicing daddyism on you. If you got a pen and paper, type daddyism. It's not journalism. It's daddyism. It's dangerous. You do that on your kids. You feed that stuff on your kids, your wife, your sister. You see what happens. You regret the day when your daughter comes home with things between their legs after seeing a daddy character. There's an NHS expert who made this all clear. And some people called them mad. That is what it is. Hopewell is a daddyist. He's not a journalist. Journalism is just a cover. The same way that award-winning medical doctor was arrested, was convicted in the UK for stealing credit cards from people who were in surgery. And that award-winning medical doctor, you can't call them a medical doctor, you call them a medical fraud. They're a fraudster. You call Hopewell Ching'ono with a daddy character. You say he's a journalist. He's a daddyist. He's told you who he is. He's not lied to you. He's told you. It's you who doesn't want to think. When you allowed such a person to subject your family, your kids, your wife with these frauds. And right now he's been saying Chamisa is, look, at the height of all this, munhu zvaari kuona ndezvekuti Chamisa false prophet. Hanzi because Chamisa akakota Bible verse muna 2013 yekuti Zimbabwe yakuchinja. Ko hauna kuona ichichinja. There's no politician who is not a prophet. Real politicians, they quote Bible verses. Real leaders, international leaders, they use Bible verses. Winston Churchill when he led the United Kingdom throughout World War II. He led the United Kingdom with hope, even though UK was being bombed left, right, and center. Led it with hope using Bible verses. No countries that are powerful, they use either the Bible or the Quran. They quote, they read, they feed on the scriptures. Moses, the man who is credited for writing the Torah, the first 4 books of the Bible, he used the Bible scriptures. He promised the Israelis that they were going to travel from Egypt to Palestine on a 4-day journey. It turned out it would be a 40-year journey. Did that make him a false prophet? The people follow such a person. Munari alikuda kudestroya Chamisa boss ada kudestroya opposition uyu. Chidoma ichi, chidhadhi chidoma chavana mutsvangwa ichi. Chamunenge muchingoti daddy journalist, unoona munhu achingoti award winning. Kana umuchimiti journalist iwewe unofana kunge uri part of them. Because hakuna munhu anofamba nembavha kana usiri mbavha. Unless kana utongoriwo mupusi womunhu. Tiri kubatsirai kamaZimbabweans. The best way you avoid risk is by studying. Like those who read the Bible, the scripture, study to show yourself approved, a workman who needs not to be brought to shame. People who don't study, they end up being shamed. Hakuna journalist there's no real journalist who doesn't like the Bible. The first broadcast, radio broadcast in humanity in 1906, humanity's first radio broadcast was a reading from Luke chapter 2. Check it. Mona. Tokuona munhu asingafariri Bible, asingafariri bhuku dzvene. Munhu iyeye unofana kuziva kuti munhu akasviba sei iyeye. Hakuna mujournalist anoziva kuti vakatanga chaivo varidzi vene vejournalism chaivo mafesi eBhaibheri ava, maprofita ava. Moses uyu akanyora Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers. Mufesi anotanga ari muprofita. Ndiye mufesi akanyora the book rakagadzira rakaita dictate the date, the Gregorian calendar yatiri kushandisa. World's first renowned journalist was a prophet. Aikanda maBible verse. So kuona munhu asingafariri maBible verse, munhu iyeka, you must understand kuti akasviba sei. You must understand kuti munhu ane malevels akasviba sei. Ndiye munhu chingoti daddy. Anyway, have you ever called your own father daddy? What wamboita baba vako here, baba vako chaivo, baba vako vari kumvuma kana kubhikita. Wakambowati daddy. Kuita daddy chimurume chinogara chinobuda pa internet chinwa whisky. Chakadhakwa so, chitazinge chakadhakwa chira chichivhaira kuti ndine mota, ndakatenga property, ndine access kuma president. Ndiye munhu unoti daddy ye, ausati baba ako chaiye, baba ako akakuendesa kuchikora usati wambovati daddy. Amuziva kuti muri kuroya, muri kuroyesa muri dzenyu, kuita kuti mukadzi wako wati munhu iye daddy. Chidhoma chaana mutsvangwa ichi chinonzi Hopewell ching'ono, chinhu chaamutsvangwa icho chinonzi Hopewell ching'ono icho. Chidhoma chaChris mutsvangwa. Regai ndimbokuratidzai evidence V11I. Ndombokuratidzai some more. Handimoda kuona evidence. Regai ndikukandirei. Hold on. Ndaisa kupo V11 angu aya. Zvaatozonditisa, hold on. Rabai muripo. MaZimbabweans. Tera munhu anozviti daddy. Uyaenda kupo naye V11 angu aya. Asi pane munhu akadhirita muningi mangu momwe. Aiwa ka. Mavillas anofana kunge ari panapa. Must be here. Stay watching. Yeah, there you are. Oh, uyo. Mubona madhadhi aya. Ari normal here munhu uyu. Uyu. Eh? Aya. Zvidhoma zvaKristu muri kuzviona izvozvo. Izvi. Zvidhoma zvaKristu izvi.
Mercenaries, Smith's mercenaries, who got the badge but never fought, who cut the hands of the voters, huh?
Response not the comrades we know,
Who stained the war vets by John,
not the ones from the front row.
Philip Chiwenga, rich and loud,
Never saw him in the battle crowd.
Where's Musenda? Where's the truth?
Chopped out with the Gamma Tax you.
Are they real comrades or players of golf on stage? Wearing fake badges just to earn that wage. We don't bow to the Philip type. We want the truth, not the propaganda.
Are they real comrades or players of golf on stage? Wearing fake badges just to earn that wage. We don't bow to the Philip type. We want the truth, not the propaganda high.
Comrade Emerson came from jail, studied law then joined the tail. Wasn't from Mangagao's fight, he replaced those erased from sight. Are they real comrades or mercs in disguise, with war vet badges and political lies? Tell the youth the truth tonight, not every badge means you fought the
Are
fight.
they real comrades or players of golf on stage? Wearing fake badges just to earn that wage. We don't bow to the Philip type. We want the truth, not the propaganda high. Tag we red. Tag we red. Tag we red.
Whoa. Are they real comrades or players of golf on stage, wearing fake badges just to earn that wage? We don't bow to the Philip type. We want the truth, not the propaganda hype. Comrade Emerson came from jail, studied law, and joined the tail. He wasn't from Magaga's plight. He erased those. Sorry, he replaced those erased from sight. Okay. Are they real comrades or players of golf on stage, wearing fake badges just to earn that way? We don't bow to the Philip type. We want the truth, not the propaganda hype. I hope people have gotten it right. I hope Shabati guy church. Mas comrade kachipisa chisong ichi. Yeah, and we don't bow to the Philip type. This is a message, a very loud message that the war veterans have been speaking of and about. I'm going to be dropping a big secret very soon of the war veterans. A lot of people don't know. This secret has not been known by many. And the real comrades, I'm talking about the real fighters here. I'm not talking about the likes of Joseph Chinotimba, Emerson Mnangagwa, Philip Chiangwa, and the like. No. I'm talking about the real fighters, like William Dengana, like Didmus Mutasa. No, those fighters. We're going to be dropping Zimbabweans a secret very soon. I don't know when. Let me try and first make it an article, and then I'll just drop it. And there are things that have been hidden. Mnangagwa was clearly a Rhodesian plant, and the idea was for him to destroy every war veteran, kill them, wipe them out totally, and then bring back the oppressive regime as it was, destroy everything that the black people had fought for in the liberation struggle, and then make the blacks then start to cry for white man rule. So that was the agenda. A lot of people might not get this. It's not easy to get this stuff because it is in that range of not so clear detail. But that is the scope of things. What might be encouraging, what a lot of people say is encouraging, is that the likes of Constantino Chiwenga and the like have woken up, have seemed to have woken up. And what I've been relating to tonight has been what has happened inside State House. I'm hoping people have read the article. I am the one who wrote that article, by the way. Myself, Simba Chikanza, who happened to be arguably the only scribe who has unrestrained access, strangely unrestrained access to State House. How did you get to State House? How did you get inside the State House, Simba? Simba, you must be a C10. Because I had someone holding a space one time, was talking about that. How did you get those secrets? How did you get those people to talk? Yeah, in Robinda, and I've been there. So that's what I'm bringing to Zimbabweans there. That is my pen. That is me who has written it. And hear me, Zimbabweans, I've been there. You've seen what I've produced. And I'm giving you what it is. Someone was saying, oh, give us a video. Mavideo ndokuburitsa many times, ndokuburitsa chaiyo chaiye, ndokuratidza chaiyo chaiye zvazviri. Iye idhi wachona zvari, Axeria wachona zvari, Chiwenga wachona zvari. Vese vanhu ava inini ndinovakonfranta vese vanhu. Na iye Chiwenga wachona iye ndakaona kuti aiwa hapana kumira zvakanaka, ndinovakonfranta. So data randiri kupa iriri, information yandiri kupa iyi, information yandakuchererai maZimbabweans nemaoko angu nekapadza kangu. Ndichipara so ndakati aiwa ndoda kuti anhu angu anyatsoona chaizvo. Handidi kuti mupihwe second hand. Piwa ese zvazviri. So quickly, the characters that I've shown you here, these are 5 characters. You can see there, fake lawyer, fake police boss, fake inventor, fake bomber, fake journalist, daddy character. Kwala munhu anozviti daddy, munhu yeye haasi kuita journalism, ari kuita chidaddyism. That person is a daddyist. They are deep. Kana iwe uchitamba nezvinhu zvakadai, uchitendera vana vako nemudzimai wako kuti vaone zvinhu vaite consume things that are produced by a daddy character, that defines who you are and your priorities. Tendera mukadzi wako yokunze kuti ateerere munhu anozviti daddy. Uneshua? Aiwa, ndati uneshua here? Tinotendera mukadzi wako kuti afollowe chinhu chinonzi chinozviti chimu single man, chinovhaira newhisky, neexpensive drink, nezvimota, nekunyepa kuti ndinotaura nemapresidents, ndinoadvisa mapresident. ukaona uchitenera mhuri yako kunge ichiita feed from chinhu chakadaro, it defines why you are in this situation. Zvotongoratidza zvazviri. Sei wakadai, why you are in this condition. Hazvisirizvo here? Because hakuna munhu dhadhi, unoziva munanzi madhadhi ndianani? Inga unocheka kuti vanhu vanonzi madhadhi vanoita basa rei. Inga unocheka kumakotsi ukoko. Ungogugula unocheka kuti mapedophiles vakaconvictwa vaizviti vainzi madhadhi. Uona kuti character nespirit nemweya ine vanhu vanonzi madhadhi yakamira sei. No wonder muchiti kana mukadakachaso mune vese mangopusa, hamusi kuzviona. Kana usati wazviona uchapepuka zvako. Mwana wako auya adzoka kumba aine zvinhu pamakumbo ake, ndopauchadzidza ipapo kuti madhadhi haateerwe. Uchaona mukadzi wako uya kumba aine zvinhu pamakumbo ake, ndopauchadzidza. Ndakupai clue, ndati inini Google. Anditi munhu wese ane Google ane maselfoni. Ingozvigugurira wega. Hakuna munhu angatadze kunzwisisa kuti yedhadhi character anoita basa rei. Hakuna mudhadhi character anoita journalism. Anoita daddyism. Just like that medical doctor, that award-winning medical doctor last week, who was reported just last week, convicted of stealing credit cards from patients in the ward. That person is not practicing medicine. How can you say such a person is practicing medicine? No. That person is practicing something else. They're a fraudster. If they're stealing credit cards from patients while they are asleep, while they are while they're in surgery, what else are they doing to my body parts? You know, that made award-winning medical doctor. So how do you say this person is a practicing medical doctor? No, they're practicing fraudster, practicing thief. If you call them a medical doctor, then you have lost it. You wake up from surgery and you find one of your body parts is gone. Maybe your private parts have been cut by that medical doctor. Then they will just say it was an error. No, I'm really serious. You allow yourselves to feed from dirty characters. Dirty characters. Dirty characters. Now you should know why I am quiet these days. I decided to do investigations on this daddy character because I discovered this daddy character is actually a large network. Rejima daddy. And then what they're doing is they are busy bewitching the people of Zimbabwe. They're busy committing multiple journalism. That's why you don't see me. I'm not going to I'm going to be investigating. And so far, I have helped to recover at least £1 million. £1 million in the UK. Mu UK imomo. Yakabiwa na iye hopo haripo. Iye uyu. I'm not hopo rugo chingono ane fake zita. Iye uyu. Are part of it. Are part of that thief theft yo. Yandaka retriever, batsira ku retriever a property. Kana msati mazviona ende mozverengera mega. Muri kuverenga kamuda kufeedwa nemadhadhi characters. Vachikubirai. My bloggers, my chichichi stadai munzwisise. Madhadhi characters, they are not your friends. They are always there to pry on people's minds. They feed you with narratives. They load your brain with narratives. Varoi vanonzi madhadhi characters. Kana usati wazviona uchapepukaona mukadzi wako azorwa zvinhu pamuviri wake. Mukadzi wako chaiye. Google aone madhadhi characters ndianani. Zvinonetsa here zvinhu zvachona. Andi ndiye akataura ega kuti andi kuti ndidhadhi. Ndiye ega akazviita dhadhi. Anotokuudza imimi kuti, and some of you actually say daddy to a man. Inini ukanditi daddy ndinokurova. Azinzwa, ina handina violence. But ipapai that day uchaona. Wozoda kundisvibisa character yangu. Hakuna munhu anozviti munhu akachena anozviti daddy. Chidhoma chamutsangwa ichi chamunoti Hopewell ichichi. Chidhoma machiona ichi. Chidhoma chamutsangwa ichichi. Saka makaona mutsvanga mupress conference yakaingotaura kuti Hopewell chingona. Chaida mutsvanga aitoreza ikodhi iyoyi aitoreza kuna Hopewell kuitira kuti Hopewell amuridzire pito painternet pasocial media. Wotambisa brain dzevanhu vanenge vachikandirana bhora so vachikunyeperai kuti vari kucriticizana. The same way you saw it patime yageza iya pazvakatanga zvinhu zvageza vachikandirana bhora iva vari two ava vachinyepedza kuti asenge vari opposite. Muchinyepera uzanzi mutsvangwa mutsvangwa atiza aenda kuDubai. Mukava manyeperwa futi kuti hanzi kune masoja vabapfuti 5 soldiers who have stolen guns and their properties of the Ugandandas that have been bombed. The only person who has ever done that, the only people who did that, was during Gukrahundi. Doesn't that tell you who Hopewell Chiwenga is? Can't you see that Hopewell Chiwenga is a Gukrahundi character? Icharacter yekunyudza vanhu iyi ichinyepedzera kuti journalism ichikufidha. Journalism ndiri kupiwa information, ndiri kupiwa exclusive, ndiri kupiwa chi. Munhu wakuSyria uyu, munhu anonzi Hopewell uyu, munhu wakuSyria naEmerson uyu. Chidhoma chavo ichichi chavanoshandisa. Saka vakakunyeperai musoya vakakunyepera kuti Chris Mutsvangu aenda kuDubai. Mese makapemberera, Chris atotiza, nyika yacho nikirina. Vataurirana, anga vatotaurirana Hopewell na Chris Mutsvanga vakataurirana. I'm telling you. Vakataurirana. Vakachironga kuti iwewe criticizer ita kuti inini ndatiza. Kushandisai apa achinwa whisky yake. Mangwana uzoona Chris ari kutopusha zvake trolley yake. I'm with my grandchildren. And you are busy talking about me. Achiseka Chiwenga. Munhu, Hopewell munhu waMnangagwa uyu. Hapana journalism iripo apa. Whodadism. Hakuna mjournalist anonyepa about his identity. Musanyeperwe. Ndakupa example, so many examples. Hakuna mjournalist anonyepa about his identities. And the imimi academics are busy kupembedza Hopewell. Watch out very soon. Muchanamwa very soon. Ndinokuudzai. Muchanamwa. And inini I'll be there. Muchipromota chidhadhi character chinonzi Hopewell Chiwenga. Muri busy kuti tipe journalism, tipe chichichi. Muri kumubatsira kuita kuti avharidzire mari dzaakatora idzi siri dzake. Muchanamwa zvenyu. Hakuna mhosva inorova ka. Hakuna mhosva inorova. Saka ndizvo zvidhoma zvaMnangagwa izvozvizvi. Mari dzatagwira idzidzi dziri kushanda. Iye pana Hopewell achinyepedzera kucriticize iye itagwira yacho. Iye ari munhu watagwira yacho. Kukutambisa eka bhora kuti ribva raponjeswa. Nemuchirikika ribva raponja riri mumaoko menyu. Ngwa manzai watatocriticize. The same way amunenge muchinyeperwa nana Fadzai Mahere, vana Ostalos and all that. Zvivakomana zviri kutamba nembavha. Chinyepero kunze tiri criticize weakness tiri kudai chitambiswa bhora rakaponja kudhara. Wake up Zimbabweans. Wake up. Hakuna munhu kwaye anenge achingoita noise. Munhu kwaye chaisha in these days anenge agara pasi achistadha chiongorora nyika. Kwete kutevera zvapfana izvi zvidhoma zvaMnangagwa izvi. Zvinonyepedzera kucriticize Mnangagwa. Zviri part of it. Part of the corruption. So watch out. Protect yourselves, Zimbabweans. I hope this broadcast helps. I'll be doing more here and there, but I'm not, these days I'm not talkative. I decided, pandakaona umbavha uri kuitika ihuhu nezvigananda izvozvi madhadhi characters. I decided, no, I'm going to be investigating. more investigating than broadcasting. A lot of people don't get it, what I do. They don't get what I do. And a lot of people don't understand, yeah, when I get my breakthroughs, so why I'm quiet. Why I appear as if I'm slowed down. I didn't slow down. I'm busy to recover property. Ndakuudza kuti I've already recovered £1 million. Yakabiwa nayo hopo iyeyu. Iyeyu achitungamirira iyeyu. Wamuri kuti hopo rugo chimwono. Ane fake zita. Mu UK cheka I documentary apa. Itoripo ipapa. The documentary ripo. Last year. For Nottingham up. Rinonzi Gatwick Airport. Hacking. Angocheka so Gatwick Airport hacking. Most of them some of you are muverengika. I'm just putting it here. Error. Yakutumira error. Google I documentary rakanzi Jennifer Banyure Gatwick Airport hacking and watch it. Yeah. More now hopo chimono in action achita mabasa ake erima. Imomu lapa last year papa. Ndipo uchanzisisa kuti hopo chimono anta basa re. Daddy character. Mchishibisa nyika yenyu, mchishibisa mafamily zenyu, chitendera mhuri dzenyu kuti dzinge chitavitera munhu anonzi daddy. Ati tikudzidzisei. Sometimes I end up singing. Because I find people it's difficult for people to understand this, but some of this stuff is very, very simple. Who is Hopo Chingono? Fake person. There's no one who is called Hopo Chingono. No one at all. Izvo akakukandira izvi madocuments ake zvazviya mukaziona ipapai ndo pane nyaya yese ipapai ndo pane audit trail yese ipapai ndo painotangira ndo painoperera ipapo ndo pamuchanzwisisa yese the real Hopo Chingono is on those ipapai ndo pamuchanzwisisa kuti munhu akaita sei ipapai nepekunyepa kuti British Embassy yakaclear my identities ake. This person is fake. This person is one of the darkest individuals I've ever seen. Hakuna journalist ane 3 IDs. Hakuna journalist anakachinja mazita. Ndiratidze one. 3 times. Ukachinja 2 zviri nani. 3 times. But even pauri uchinja pachona 2 pachona ipo wakachinjirei. Wakachinjirei 2 my ID. Wakamachinjirei 2 my ID. But 3 my different IDs are 3 my totally different names. Unobva wanyepa kuti baba vangu akataura kuti ndofana kushandisa zita rasekuru vangu and all that. Ningirikini imbofana ndinhingi akatauriwa. Vanhu mazimbomudzimba matozvibhilivha izvozvo. But anzi British Embassy yakaita police clearance. Yakaita police clearance kupi. A simple check will tell you there's no embassy that has ever done a police clearance on anyone at any time. And there's no embassy that has got capacity. And the British Embassy in Harare has confirmed he has never done. And that letter that he got it because he deceived. He deceived that that British Embassy official. That ZANU-PF is after him over a documentary. And that documentary is not even his. Nevertheless, that letter, it claims that, ZANU-PF is after me. Write to me for me a letter that I never stole in UK. And the ambassador, the person there, not even ambassador, was a secretary, junior secretary in the political office. So that's a political allegations office. We just wrote that letter to say we are not aware of any outstanding illegal issues between Mr. Oporgo Chingono and the British authorities. That's all. And then they said, look, he has been to the UK. Of course, he had been to the UK under his new name at that time. That was 2011. Hopewell traveled to the UK, according to his documents, in 1994, under a totally different name, Ahins Hopo Mkusha. And then during that time, between 1994 and 2002, Hopewell under his previous name, amassed a property that he cannot account for, including his CPT home that he has been claiming that it was purchased from a KEBS mortgage from Zimbabwe money. But his own disclosure, his own words later on, when I asked him to account for it, he then came up and he said, look, it was not Zimbabwe money, it was actually British money in the form of a 50,000 pounds sports car loan. When you ask him for the name of the lender, he can't tell you. Non-existent lender. That is when he changed his name from Hopo Mukusha to Hopo Chingono, Mukusha Chingono with an NG. Then he also changed, and once again, there's another document from that to Hopo Rugo Desh Chingono with an apostrophe. The documents are there, they're public record. Already, that tells you that this guy has got a case to answer over his own identity, over his identity. Tells you on its own. Worse, because he calls himself a daddy character. Tells you who Hopo Chingono is, Hopo Rugo Chingono is. Especially when he lies that his names were the police clearance done on them. That tells you who Hopo this guy is. He has got so much energy to make people believe that he was police. When you see a person who makes you believe that they had a police clearance done on them by the embassy, they are in the region in terms of their preoccupation in the region of Maxo Chukumbutso, the fake inventor, who we've got there as number 2. Can you see number 2? We've got Talent Fusere, a fake professor, a fake lawyer, who lied to Zimbabweans that he exposed the vote rigging in Mozambique last year, and also wrote a letter pleading with Hopo Chingono, saying that him and Hopo Chingono are being falsely accused. We've got number 2 there, Max Kumbutsa. I think people remember when I challenged Emerson Mnangagwa in January, on 28 January, he quickly deleted his tweets over Max Kumbutsa. And I told Mnangagwa, I'm going to expose you if you don't do a press conference, if you don't address the nation. So that's number 2 there. Maxo Chukumbutso since 2015 has been lying. He's been lying to the people that he's called Maxo Chukumbutso and that he invented endless electricity, endless energy, and a car that drives forever and a helicopter that flies forever. When in actual fact, Maxo Chukumbutso, who is he? It's a fake person. He's called Sangulani Chukumbutso. He's out on bail for armed robbery. Out on bail for armed robbery. And yet people actually believed. A lot of people shared these videos. I noticed when the ZBC dropped that video. People shared it. They're like, yeah, we've got an inventor. We are going to be having an African is doing a wonderful thing. Everyone was all over the moon about Maxo Chukumbutso. When yet everything about Maxo Chukumbutso could be obtained from just the name. Just the name. The name on its own, it tells you there is no human being called Maxo Chukumbutso. But yet people fell for it. You fell for it, Zimbabweans. You fell for it. Saka ndozo ari akomana. Yeah, very 5 hour. Muruwa onera. Aya komana ari apa. Akomana ari apa. Ngaona mpiakti. anenge achinoita ekubhirivhisa kune mwe mupolisi uya kuti anzi ndaexposa ndakusunga ningi ndini police commissioner ndazodai machinese ngabude muzimbabwe ngazodai makatambiswa bhora rakaponjeswa kuti papai vakanyeperwa ndo vakomana vacho naiva 5 of them mavaona ka vari apapo. Right, don't forget to Google the Jennifer Banyure documentary, Zimbabweans. Equip yourselves, protect yourselves, protect your families, particularly vadzimai enyu. Kana une mukadzi wako unomuprota jealously, handiti? Hakuna murume anotendera mukadzi wake kuona a single man anoposta mavideos aine whisky, aine zvimota nezvimaproperty zvaanenge achingotaura kuti ndakatenga property kuSouth Africa, ndakatenga property kuZimbabwe, ndakazodai nemari dzisiri dzake. Hakuna munhu anotendera a dirty character kuti ave neaccess painternet kune mukadzi wake. Kana wakadaroka aiwa uchasekwa zvako. Kana uchitendera mukadzi wako iwo kuti atungamirirwe, ateerere munhu anozviti dhadhi, anozviti dhadhi Hopewell Goshing'ono, aiwa uchaonerera zvako. Hakuna mazuva. Ndakuudzaika. Indo zvandakastada inini, ndio background yangu iyoyi. Ndokwanguwo ikokuye kuna pano zvinovanetsa kuti kuzimba chikanzeyo. There's no secret, there's nothing too special about me. Ndinongofollowa zvinhu zviri simple chete. Ndongofollowa ID chete. Birth certificate rako ID rako. Ndozvandirongoteera izvozvo chete, handitaure zvakawanda. Hakuna munhu anouya achida kuzviti ndoda kusave the country, I'm giving ma-awards, ndiri kuwina ma-awards, ndakazodai, I'm giving people journalism. Aiwa, toda kutanga pa-birth certificate nezita rako, unonzani iwewe? Sabhuku wako ndiani? Mambo wako ndiani? Ipapo ndo pane nyaya yese ipapo. Unonzani? Ma-audit isusu kwatakastada audit ndozvataidziso aumhanye hautsvage zvinhu zviri complicated, ingotsvaga the smallest detail on the audit trail, just that single data iroro rinongotaura kuti munhu anonzani, ndipo unowana nyaya yese ipapo. Hapana kuda kushopera, hapana kana chiprofita apa chekuda kuziva kuti Hopewell Ching'ono anoitei. Ingocheka zita chete, nobva waona data rese ipapo. Kana pano paramuzisa vanhu vati yes, Chikanza, how did you break the story? How did you dig deep? How did you do this? Aiwa ka. Simba Chikanza hapana zvinoshamisira zvinhu zvaanoitawo mani. Akangofanana nemunhu wese. Simba Chikanza anongotsvaga to the simplest detail. It doesn't go too far. The only thing is Simba Chikanza anozongogara ozongoanalyze. Ikawo ka simple detail ikakaya ka ID. Ndopandiri papo izvozvi. So izvozvo pandiri kutaura panapa ndakatomavhura my dear Hopewell. I've been analyzing my dear Hopewell since 2022. Chingoma analyze. Ima Zimbabweans muri busy kufunga mbuwa muri kupuwa journalism na Hopewell. Inde kuanalyze my dear. Ipapai ndo pane nyaya yese ipapai. Ndo pane future yemaZimbabweans ipapai. Ndo pamuri kubvutirwa your own future. Nemune munhu iye anozviti dhadhi yeye. Ashandira vana mutsvangwa nana ED achikunyeperai kuti ndiri kupai journalism. Pazita ipapapa. Usamhanye. Pazita ipapapa. Pazita. Kuna varida kuita kutawo ma-investigators nama-auditors. This is how simple it is. Padata ipazita ipapazita chete. Ndakambona dhiga zvese, ndakadhiga. Zvese. Pazita apa ndo pane nyaya. Ndo pamuchadiscover kuti hakuna munhu anonzi Hopewell Goching'ono. Hakuna. Mukaona pane musa akanyora claim yekuti ndaripota Simba Chikanza kuNottingham Police, kuWest Yorkshire Police. Ndakabva ndatoti good young man. Ndo zvandachitoda. Saka munozva kuti zvandakaita manje panonakidza pacho ngosvika so ngoti Ko mupurisa urikuzomisa sei? Tozosvika taakutaurawo nechirungu ka. Yeah, so I understand you actually registered a police case and said, no, it's not really serious. It turns out he was trying to scratch on a harassment case on me. That's what he was trying to do. So anyway, nevertheless, I want to know, who is this person? What is his name? Because you don't open a case here. Kati chibonduze kuti, did you verify who he is? Ndo panongonakidza zvapo kunyika dzaangezi kunokuko kune mutemo. I mean, I know we also have a lot of professional police officers, even vakuZimbabwe chaiwo, even though vari munhamo. Some of them are really professional. Some of them ingoro nyaya yekuti economy yachona nemasystems anamunangagwa neupapa. But I'm just saying, what is just nice is when you get there and you're armed with detail. Basic. Who is this person? Ndiani? Muna anonzi Hopewell ndiani? Anonzani? Muna anonzi Hopewell. Musanetese maZimbabweans. Mukaona next time anyora anything. Nokomuza kuti iwe Hopewell unonzani? Wakanyepa iwewe kuti British Embassy. Iwewe. Wakanyepa British Embassy yakakuita police clear iwewe. Simba chikanzi akakumirira iwewe kuNottingham. Ndokwanditori izvozviso. Ndokandakatopaka. Ndakatogarira chimunhu chamune muchiti nigirikini ichichi. Anonzani zita rake. And some of you academics, you are busy working with this man. You are either a fraudster or you're totally, completely naive. One way or the other, you're an accomplice. And one day, things will catch up with you. So Google, check it out, that documentary. Here. I've already recovered 1 million pounds here. And I got to recover last year. Yakabiwa. Na iye yu, wamuri kuti Hopewell. Friend yake inonzi Jennifer Banyure. Kaigoogle. Vachitonyeperana kuti hanzi aiwa umbofa wakabatwa. Arimo mudocumentary, cheka imoni. Zaiwa hapana zvinomboitika. Totaura zvavo haiwa zvakangoita Hopewell izvozvi haiwa hatimbofa takabatwa. Iye Jennifer wachona akachinjawo zita. Muna 2001 imomuwe na Hopewell akapinda muUK nerimwe zita. Same style iyoyi. Apa akuda kuba property. Zivai vanhu ava maZimbabweans. Hakuna journalist anozviti daddy. Hakuna anyone anozviti daddy. Former employer wake ainzi Jeffrey Nyarota. Akamufumurawo. Mukagoogle an article iri pa Newsday. Mufunga kuti iZim-I ka. Mufunga kuti ndeve kuZim-I. Jeff Nyarota is not from Zim-I. Was not from Zim-I. He wrote an article exposing this guy. It's called "Journalism Rarely Produces Excessive Wealth." Go and read that article. Google it. Journalism rarely produces excessive wealth. Get to know who this Hopewell character is. Kuti munhu akaita sei nemuchingodyiswa chitendera mhuri yenyu kuti ifeed from a character. Hakuna journalist anovenga Bible. Because a real journalist understands that the first journalists, the original journalists, they were prophets. The first prophet, the first journalist, Moses, who led the Israelis from Africa to Palestine. That journalist was a prophet. Paul of Tarsus, who wrote 3/4 of the New Testament, he was a journalist, a businessman also, and a journalist. And he was not a tithe pastor. He never took tithes or survived on tithes and offerings. No, he worked with his hands. Was a tent maker. Paul of Tarsus. The first in journalism, anyone who studied journalism, proper broadcast journalism, will tell you the first broadcast was a reading from Luke chapter 2. Google it. A reading from the book of Luke chapter 2. Yeah, mavhesi anonzi yena Hopewell aya akazodai. Be reading from Luke chapter 2 was the first broadcasting technology broadcast in 1906. Should be 1903 or 1906, somewhere there. That tells you who Hopewell is. There's no journalist who Hopewell will go against. The Bible is the original book of science. You might not like it. I mean, you might not believe certain aspects. But you know what? The larger part of what that book is, which also performs a part of the large part of the Quran and many other manuscripts, that book is loaded with science. Science that's been proven. The dates have been things, places, and the like have been proven. Saka hakuna mujournalist anokudza kuti kukota mavhesi ndiyoka journalism ndo payakabva ipapa. Journalism means journaling. Munhu ari kunyora zvima-events. Ndazobvapo ndazoendapo. Abraham baba wake ainzi Ningi, mwana wake ainzi Isaac. Isaac akazozvara Jacob. Jacob ndiyo journaling yacho. Ndo kunyora journalism kwacho ka. Iyana Hopo yanga atori busy yanga achiita chaizvo journalism chaizvo. Yanga atori busy kutostada the origins of the real Bible, right? The world's first entered Bible. The Ethiopian Bible, which is 500 years older than the King James. The origins of the Ark of the Covenant. There's an Ark of the Covenant replica that is in Zimbabwe, between Zimbabwe and Zambia. To discover the real origins of the black people. The black people were not the caricatures that the Rhodesians made the black people of our area look like we didn't have a writing technology, writing whatever, which is a lie. Black people were scientists. They were the pharaohs. They are the ones who made the pyramids. If you look at Mandla Mandela, the chiefs, their dressing. If you look at the dressing of the people who went and buried Herbert Chitepo in 75, the type of headscarves, they were the headscarves of pharaohs. That is the real history of black people. Black people were not foolish. They were not bush people. Musadherera unovatema. Ndozvinhu zvoda kuti azostadwa izvozviye monzwisisa. Naona munhu achitiudza kuti Ningi Chamisa akazoti munhu muroyi. Hakuna munhu anozviti journalist anozviti daddy. Mudaddyist. And the next time that's what you need to call him. Call him, you are a daddyist. You are a daddyist. A daddyist is a liar, is a manipulator. Go and check in case law what type of characters they are. Madaddyist. Saka izvi ndo zvigananda zvamutsvango izvi zvamuri kuona zviri 5 izvi 1 2 3 4 5 izvi zvamuri kuona apa izvi. Izvozvo pane maacademics akawanda vari kuenda vachinyeperwa vachipedzisira vofeedwa false content nechidhadhi character chichi. Handichada kutaura zvakawandisa. Strengthen yourselves, arm yourselves. I'm going to be shutting, folks. Ndataurisa handiti. I told you what has happened between Chiwenga, what happened to Chiwenga when he went to State House last week. The drama did not start in the Politburo, it started in State House. The drama started in the State House when Constantino Chiwenga confronted Emerson Mnangagwa and told him that he must arrest Kuda Tagwire. He also argued that Tagwire and Wikno Chivaya are stealing money. He accused them of stealing money. He said that Chivaya, whenever he gives you 50 million, gives you 10 million, he's taking 50 million. And Kuda Tagwire, Chiwenga alleged that he takes 3.5 billion every 6 months. So every year, Zimbabwe is losing 7 billion. So this was the dossier. And then while Chiwenga was speaking, Mnangagwa became restless. and he left his own office, appeared as if he was going outside, but then jumped into his motorcade and left and went to the Politburo. Chiwenga later on followed. When he got to the Politburo, Chiwenga started again, demanding that Tagure must be arrested. That is when Mnangagwa pushed back, and he started saying that he started threatening to resign. And Love Momatuke, the state security minister, rushed to his support and started screaming, saying that Chiwenga is trying to take over the presidency, and started saying, "Look, this is all that you're after." And at that point, Chiwenga said, "Look, do you realize I fought in the war? There are many people who fought in the war. We're not even interested in presidency. You yourself, you were not part of the war." And around that time, Frederick Shawa is the one who then said, "Look, both of you are my presidents. You are our presidents. I'm asking that you go and discuss this matter among yourselves in the presidium." And so, suggesting that Chiwenga had skipped the presidium and jumped straight down to the Politburo, a lower ranking group. But in actual fact, Chiwenga was in the presidium at State House, and it is Mnangagwa who broke the boundary. Mnangagwa went out of the office and could have dealt with this thing between themselves, between him and Chiwenga. That did not happen. That is where things are now. Soon after that, Mnangagwa then rushed and said, "Look, we're now going to elections," in a move that could see Chiwenga's power now being whittled down, Chiwenga being decampaigned and destroyed or even killed. And then Mnangagwa then fired the Secretary for Administration, Obet Mpofu, who he suspects of backing Chiwenga because he did not voice out in support of Mnangagwa. So this is the detail that I'm giving you, Zimbabwean nations around the world. My name is Simba Chikanza. From my access that I've had with State House over the years, access that has been really, really of a privilege, and access that I have tried my best to ensure that I make use of it to give people exclusive news, including videos of both Mnangagwa and his wife Auxilia, and also even Chiwenga himself. So what I give you today is what I have obtained from inside State House. I do not go through intermediaries. I have to state, when I deal with the presidium, maybe I need to put this on social media so people can know. I have learned not to go through intermediaries, not to go through State House staff, or go through bodyguards, or go through ministers. But I shoot straight to the presidium. All the members of the presidium, I've spoken with them. I've confronted with them, and I've had some access that has been some rare access, including video time on my phone, which I've taken advantage of so that I give people fresh news and fresh understanding of who these people are. The biggest thing that I have revealed so far is how timid both Auxilia Mnangagwa and Emerson are when they are confronted. I've shown video footage of both Mnangagwa and Auxilia timid, withdrawn when confronted. And in this case, I'm also showing more detail of how withdrawn Mnangagwa was, that he fled his own office at State House when he was confronted by Constantino Chiwenga last week, and left Constantino Chiwenga inside his own office and fled to the ZANU-PF building, where once again confronted by Chiwenga, who followed him from behind. He threatened to resign. So I'm hoping this is me, Simba Chikanza, on your news network Zimai. I give you, what I found, and I'd love your feedback. Do follow me, follow us on Zimai, your news network ever. I'm going to be shutting, folks. This is the war veterans speaking, saying
Hold on. The war veterans saying. Tagwire, why did we fight? What did we fight? Why did we fight? Why did we fight? That's what it means. Why did we fight? Tagwire.
Are they real comrades? Or Mugabe's mercenaries? Smith's mercenaries? Who got the badge but never fought? Who cut the hands of the voters, huh?
Response not the comrades we know.
Who stained the war vets by John?
Not the ones from the front row.
Philip Chiwenga, rich and loud.
Never saw him in the battle crowd.
Where's Muzenda? Where's the truth?
Chopped out with the Gamma Talks youth.
Are they real comrades or players of golf on stage? Wearing fake badges just to earn that wage. We don't bow to the Philip type. We want the truth, not the propaganda.
Are they real comrades or players of golf on stage? Wearing fake badges just to earn that wage. We don't bow to the Philip type. We want the truth, not the propaganda high.
Comrade Emerson came from jail, studied Lord and joined the tail. Wasn't from Magagao's fight. He replaced those erased from sight. Are they real comrades or mercs in disguise with war vet badges and political lies? Tell the youth the truth tonight. Not every badge means you fought the fight.
Are they real comrades or players of golf on stage? Wearing fake badges just to earn that wage. We don't bow to the Philip type. We want the truth, not the propaganda high. Tagwire.
This is Semi Media, broadcasting all round the world, on the spot, on the dot. This is
So this is case number 26 out of the refunds, and we're just hearing this morning that a refund has been made. Have you found it?
Are you from Northampton? Hi.
How many years have you waited?
3 years.
3 years. And how does it feel?
I'm so happy.
Yeah?
I'm so happy. And thank you very much, Simba, for all your help. Thank you so much.
Wow. And you found the reference now. Thank
Yes,
you.
I did.
How much more is left?
About 45,000.
45,000 is left.
Yeah.
So far they refunded? How much?
About 3,000.
3,000. And that's what you had deposited transferred into her account?
Yeah.
Right. Wow. What's your message to other women who are still to get their refunds?
Keep on pushing. Keep on pushing. Don't lose hope. And listen to Simba, please. And Bud Ezra. Listen and follow all their instructions. We'll get victory.
Wow.
The descendants of the great pharaohs are clearly now rising to take over the world. The Americans have CNN, the British, BBC, the Asians have Al Jazeera, the Germans have DW. Where is the great pharaoh's own news network? Where's the great eagle's eye? It is here. It has come alive, finally. And even now, as I look at this instant reversal previously impossible, I know that this is just the beginning. There is clearly so much more in store for us if we were willing to invest in ourselves. Let's invest in Zimai, our own network, the Black Pharaoh's News Network, the People's Eye, the Zimai.
This is Semi Media, broadcasting all round the world, on the spot, on the dot.